Tonight,
Saturday
you've
or
already been
Friday,
asked.
it went into.
Doctor isn't the doctor that called, it's another doctor.
He's not coming.
Now, if he was in the hospital like he was before he died, and we had to
And he's
cancel
still
appointments,
recuperating, so he texted me that he would.
But isn't that the stupidest part? The death certificate to cancel a doctor's appointment.
And he's still recuperating.
It's doing a lot better. Thank you for asking. Yes.
Be good, the mics are live.
Yeah, don't say anything that you wouldn't say to Kelly out loud. So the funeral went well for the ex-sheriff and everything? Good, good. Oh, you know, we're gonna lose them down there, I guess.
When I started my career, all those guys were still in. So I guess it was great. I got the experience.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. Everywhere we are. Yes. Talk to you afterwards.
Who just gave us this? Oh, we're supposed to pass these down, I think.
We're supposed to what?
Guess
I wondered why you
I'm
were
not
keeping.
paying attention.
It's about the veteran service officer.
And you always get those, put
And
them in
Rick
that
had
corner
that
and
done,
have
they said
everything
it's
in
one of
it.
the worst ones they had ever seen.
What they actually remember all the signatures and
If you'll take your seats, we'll call to order the meeting of the Morgan County Council for March 1st, 2021. I have asked Chip Keller to lead us in prayer this evening, and after that, then Mr. Prather is going to lead us in our pledge. If everyone would stand.
Please bow your heads, everyone. Heavenly Father, we just pause to give thanks for the opportunity to gather here tonight. We thank you for the privilege of living here in this beautiful place that we call home, Morton County. As we begin our meeting, we just ask that you grant us a spirit of humility that we might make the best decisions for all those that might be affected. And now just be with us and be with all of us here as we go throughout our week. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I would like to call roll just to show that everyone is here. If I call your name, just announce that you're present. Chip Keller.
Present.
Paul Prather.
Present.
Akala.
Present.
Jason Maxwell.
Present.
Troy Sprinkle is out this evening. He had rotator cuff surgery, and he is at home recuperating, so keep him in your prayers, folks. Vicki Kivett. Present. And Kim Meredith is present. Let the record show we have a quorum. So we have the pledge and the prayer, have the meeting minutes. I guess everyone got their agenda, had time to go over that. And were there any questions or changes in regard to the meeting minutes?
None. Vicky Kivett makes a motion that we approve both sets of minutes for February 1st as outlined on the agenda.
Kelly Apollo will second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next on our agenda is the Veteran Service Officer. I thought I saw Rick here.
He's here.
Yes.
This is a correction to the budget error.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This here, as I mentioned in my email to you all with the meeting packet, there was a transposition in the budget for this particular position, and I rushed too quickly trying to get this all to the newspaper to be published, and that 407 actually should be $540. I was puzzled at the time I was putting this together for the paper as to why we had a deficit or a projected deficit in that account, and then later when I took a breath after it's too late to get the publication changed, I figured out what had happened. It was a transposition, and it really should have been 540. So probably at some point in time, we either have a transfer or another additional later to make up the $133, but that's what that is. It's an error in the budget calculation.
So just a clearing up a correction. So I look for a motion for the $407 additional.
Was it 540 or 407, Dan?
Well, you can only act on
Oh,
the
with what's
407 because
advertised?
that's what's published.
Yeah, so Paul Prather will make a motion that we grant the $407 advertised for the administrative assistant for the Veteran Service Officers 0012.
Have a motion?
I'll second.
Thank you, Chip. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Next item, Probation Department. This is another instance where at budget time, there was insufficient funds in the adult supplemental, and you moved a probation officer from the adult supplemental probation fund into the general fund, and you also reduced the years of service that was in there, because in years past, and it was proposed for this year, the Probation Department has always funded their years of service bonus from the adult supplemental, or the supplemental adult probation fund, but there wasn't the funding for that, and so that was removed out of there, but there was an oversight. We didn't replace it by putting the money in the general fund.
So we're looking for a motion of an additional appropriation of $17,400 for the Probation Department.
Kelly Apollo will make that motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Paul Prather will second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, next item on the agenda is under the Elliott Economic Development Fund, County Commissioners, and this is under that interlocal agreement, correct?
Right. This is the agreement between the county and the Morton County Regional Sewer District, an agreement from 2019 that the county agreed to provide $10,000 a year for 5 years, for the first 5 years of the bond for that, the Waverly wastewater treatment plant. And so this is one of the $10,000 installments that was agreed to. We are actually in the second, the agreement reads that beginning with the first year of the bond and each of the first 5 years. We were actually in the second year of the bond, so this actually should have been 20,000 instead of 10, so at your next meeting, there'll be another $10,000.
Did you want to give a, I
No,
mean,
Dan
it was pretty
summarized it
I
perfectly, yeah.
understood it from the packet. Did everyone get it in your packet and understand? It was kind of startup funding until they can start to collect the,
So next year, we'll only budget 10,000 for this,
Correct.
right? Okay.
Correct.
did anyone have questions for Josh? Okay. So we look for a motion to approve the $10,000.
Vicky Kivett makes said motion.
Keller will second.
Chip, we have a first and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Motion carries.
I can speak to the next one if you
Okay.
want me to. This is getting the budget in sync with the agreed upon added positions of the EMS duty officer and the change in the compensation for the deputy director. And this will now put the budget in sync with that, those previous salary, that salary that was approved by the county council. And in my email to you, I mentioned that I reduced the request by $50,000 because there's money already available in the line item for the duty officers.
Okay, yes, I did read that.
The request was $177,000, which
Originally.
is the amount needed, but I
But not the
reduced it by
additional.
20 because there's already
Thank you, Dan.
already 50,000 available.
Were there any questions on that additional appropriation? Okay. Look for a motion for a total of $122,407, Emergency Medical Services Fund.
Kelly Akala will make that motion.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Jason Maxwell will second that.
Jason. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, next on our agenda is the Johnson County Emergency Response Interlocal Agreement. Going to speak on that? Good evening.
Good evening.
And if you will, I know that microphone, we have a little trouble hearing with that. If you could get kind of close to that one, or
All right, can I
Or
take
you-
my mask off?
if you feel comfortable in doing that. Thank you, Scott.
Okay. This is in a local agreement with Johnson County and Morgan County for the use of Johnson County's locution server that we did not have to purchase as part of our locution project. We have come to an agreement on how that's going to work. And this will give us the ability to use their server and it saved us probably between $25,000 and $30,000.
That's great.
in not purchasing a server. But as part of this, for their kind services, and they're gonna have to keep, they get upkeep on their server. We're going to purchase a CAD-to-CAD module for Spillman, which will allow us to, both of our computer-aided dispatch systems to talk to each other. That will help speed things along when we use Johnson County resources, like in the Bargersville area where they have a contract, or not in Bargersville, in the Harrison Township area where Bargersville has that contract. Instead of us, right now, what we're doing is we are dispatching Bargersville via radio, but then we have to call Johnson County and also let their dispatch know, so then this will cut that process out. So it'll all be an automated process. When we enter a call into Bargersville's area or in the Harrison Township area, it'll automatically send out.
But that's some piece of equipment you'll need to purchase,
Yeah, we're going to purchase it.
and you
for
have that
us.
already within your budget?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, it's all been budgeted as part of the master locution project, and we're looking on anyways, once we get this agreement, then we can develop our network connectivity between us and Johnson County, and then we can start doing our testing, and hopefully in the next month and a half, we can start rolling out live on this.
Good,
So,
sounds great.
Scott, is there a mail on that and everything?
on the locution project?
Yes.
Yeah, it's after it goes live, the first year's free, and then it's $10,000 a year, which we'll be budgeting for, so.
Okay.
But for what it does, it's well worth it. It's gonna save us it's gonna speed some processes along for us. It's gonna make it better for the firefighters and the paramedics out in the field. Some of the biggest complaints I hear from fire and EMS people, when you got a human element involved, I mean, you got to have the human element, there's no doubt there, but they'll say some dispatchers talk too fast, some too slow, some too loud, some too quiet. This is the same diction, the same volume every time, and it's the same familiar voice, so they'll get used to that, and once it's called ear training, and once your ear gets trained to hear a certain voice, then, you know, you perk up and pick it up better.
Yeah, teach my husband that.
I don't know if I can do that.
Never works.
All right, is there anything else you need from us?
Nope, I'm
All
just
right.
asking for your folks' blessing on this, and we can move to Johnson County, and they'll hopefully going to sign off on it next week, and we'll be moving forward again.
Okay. So we just need a vote to enter into that interlocal agreement?
Yes.
Okay, so yes, we are looking for a motion to enter into that interlocal agreement.
Vicky Kivett makes said motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Kelly Akala will make that second.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Scott.
Quick, with the I-69 and 37 one lane, north and south and all that, are you getting any increased calls coming in up there for anything?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Enough said.
Yeah, it's, you know, from semis being where they're not supposed to be. I was just having a discussion with Josh about that, about some signage issues with NDOT. I talked to the Morgantown Town Marshal. They're having problems over there with semis getting off on their side streets because they're confused and lost, and then
I feel
they're doing
bad for 'em.
damage
Right.
and stuff. Yeah, that and accidents, and, you know, it's just the nature of the beast. And
growing pains.
it's just going to get worse because right now, I mean, there's a lot of people that are working from home. I mean, things are still kind of shut down, but once things start opening back up, it's going to get crazy.
Yeah.
We're not looking forward to March Madness because some of the games are going to be played at IU. So they're going to be traveling through us, and just not looking forward to it.
Yeah. Fun, fun, fun. Anything else for Scott?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Dan, you want to help us out or on the?
Kenny here?
Oh, is Kenny going to talk to us on? Okay. Oh, he's got lots of stuff.
Here's your packet.
Okay. You want one?
We're back again. This is for the rest of the homes in the PMG grant. That's pre-mitigation grant that was awarded. I will be coming back shortly with a singular house in Willowbrook. It'll be an HMGP grant. Deputy Attorney for Homeland Security is drafting the state local on that one as well. Both of them were awarded last year. But what I'm doing is trying to get everything done so we can finish closing. I've got 3 purchase agreements already signed in my office right now, trying to do closings on them. You did already get the blessing. We closed on 1 already. The rest of these you're going to see in your ordinance is a list of the rest of them that we're going to be purchasing. You've got a blank purchase agreement that just got shared among you. And that is a purchase agreement that's not been all the details filled out. Jim started it. I go in and fill the blanks in, then I meet with the people, we get closing set up. We do title searches. We cannot go over the average of the appraisals, of 2 appraisals. If they don't like what that offer is at the average of the 2, FEMA gives them the right to pay for one on their own. And if they give me that, it may or may not bring that offer down. If it's lower than the lowest appraisal that I showed them, or the lowest appraisal I show them, that offer will come down from what I originally sent them. There's only been one couple that made that mistake, and once I see that third appraisal, I've got to accept it, period. So it will bring that offer down. That one occasion, it did cost some people about $3,000, and I couldn't help it, but I did end up closing with them, but that's the way it works. So we do have federal guidelines as well as state guidelines that we got to go by. We've done, this is about 157th closing for me for the county on properties. So, I mean, I kind of know how to do them, but we got to make sure that we are doing them right, make sure that we are doing them the federal way as well as the state way. So we've never been wrote up on a state audit or a federal audit on none of these grants, but we're just here tonight getting your blessing, passing the ordinance so I can go ahead and purchase the rest of these homes on this pre-mitigation grant.
Did you say 157 properties?
Yes.
Wow.
That's just buyout properties, either to Riverboat or to FEMA grants that I wrote.
And to some of our newer members, you might explain what those properties are, Kenny?
What the programs are?
The
Oh,
properties
properties
like
are-
Waverly, Bothwell Edition.
Basically, you're gonna have the majority of these properties got about after the '08 flood. There's a 499-year flood event, and we got a lot of people out of harm's way then and saved them a lot of grief. We started buying properties out in '05 in the Waverly area, and we started out using riverboat funds. Paul probably remembers that. Vicky might, I'm not for sure if he's on the council then or not, I'm thinking. But anyway, we're basically doing it to where we're not putting our emergency personnel in harm's way. I know EMA, fire departments, they loved it after we started buying them out. And they don't have to go in and do them water rescues no more. So, I mean, we're saving a lot of money there. We're saving a lot of money and time by just not having to have, because FEMA dollars are all of our tax dollars. Whether we like it or not, that's the way it is. But every dollar that we're spending on mitigation, we're saving $7 through FEMA. So it's saving us $6 by doing these. The big thing is, though, it's saving our local people not having to go in there and do it. The other big advantage that we've had that we've utilized, the FDIC, your Fire Department Instructors Conference, there's 3 years that I got Greg Fisher and the conference come down. We was running 12 to 1,500 firemen through there in 2 days, teaching them how to do live fire training, 1401, 1403, ladder training, force entry training, simulated earthquake training, simulated tornado training, to where they could go back and teach in-house at their own fire departments. And we had people from every state in this nation here, as well as a few countries, coming to FDIC. That's just 3 years that we did that. We've also done really close to about 70 local fire trainings for our local fire departments, as well as SWAT team trainings. We actually had a SWAT team down from Brownsburg today, or not Brownsburg, Beech Grove today, in the county utilizing one of our structures. So we're trying to get you guys a good number together, helping out on the match by utilizing our local SWAT team training is going to be taking place at some of these structures. We've got Alva County trainings for SWAT teams is going to be taken up. All the SWAT team training will be done first because they don't tear them up near like the fire departments do. And we got to have them to where they meet the requirements as far as emergency access in case a fireman gets under distress in there during fire training. We got to make sure them windows are out, they're boarded up, 3 number 8 nails, and make sure that that's emergency access for them. We got to move certain things out there before they can do it because you got toxic stuff in them houses. These little plastic Venetian blinds, a lot of them is very toxic. So, I mean, we're making sure that they're safe, and the FDIC, Greg Fisher from the Illinois Fire Safety Institute taught me how to do them right. So me and the CC workers have done them for FDIC as well as the local fire departments. And I'm working with the fire chiefs, and I'm going to be going to one of their fire chiefs meeting. I just did one, but we're going to go to another one, seeing what we can work with them. Because after the SWAT team training, they might knock a door down, they might bust a window. The window's got to come out anyway. I've asked them already, do not hurt the drywall, because if there's a drywall, I've got to patch it. We got to keep that fire contained to that room. So we're working with them. We're going to see how much we can do, and then we'll be coming back for that as well, so.
Thank you, Kenny.
No, not a problem.
Can you said there's been 157 homes. Do you have an idea of how many total homes that this could be? I mean, is this just something that could last forever? We could just continue to buy homes, or is there an end to this?
I will be honest, this will be the last 2 FEMA grants that I ever write. I'll be honest with you. They're for Morton County. I mean, I've been doing them since.
Well, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about just for all of the housing.
Yeah, we've got, you get these, we've got the lion's share out of homes.
Okay, good.
We really do. Mr. Toomey can maybe tell you a little bit more, but I mean, we really have the lion's share out of the way.
Okay, I just was wondering if we were gonna do this forever.
We get done with this, we're gonna be leading the state in acquisitions.
Okay,
Right now, Rodney Rinkenberger, Mommy River Basin, he went up about 3 or 4 homes the last time he did a buyout. So I mean, we're gonna be going over them. I mean, we've already set the standard for floodplain management, not only just in the state, in Region 5 FEMA, but also in the country, just so you guys know, so.
very good.
Thank you for your time and energy for that. You went beyond.
It's a big team effort, couldn't do it without you, the commissioners. I mean, it's been a big group effort over the years, and I appreciate all of you guys.
Thank you, Kenny.
And I know the public does as well, especially the ones getting bought out. They appreciate it. I do have all the appraisals already. If you would, I brought them just in case Mr. Wisco said I might bring them. You might want to look at them. It's up to you. But I didn't want to set and make copies of all this paper.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
As an old appraiser, can you just give me the range of what the property's appraised for? Ballpark, doesn't have to be.
Anywhere from 15 to 50% higher than what they was a few years ago, Chip, but they're ranging anywhere from about 140 to 160,000.
Okay.
So you're looking for a motion this evening for an approval of the ordinance?
Correct.
Does anyone have any further questions before moving on this?
You looking for a motion? I'd like to make the motion that we authorize, and I turned my phone off for my therapy tomorrow, I'm sorry. We authorize the real estate purchases of the FEMA properties and both well subdivisions that has been discussed. I guess that's all that really needs to be said. I can't think of anything else.
We have a motion.
Vicki Kivett will second that motion.
Thank you, Vicki. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Chip Keller abstains. I have relatives that live in this subdivision, so just as an abundance of caution.
Just for a particular lot, if that matters.
It's okay. We'll have,
They're closing one of those lots, so.
Okay.
all right, we'll have 5 approved.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Have a couple of things tonight under other business. Do you want to start with Daniel? Is that all right? Daniel Elliott is the president of the Morton County Redevelopment Commission, and he's got good news to share with us this evening.
I do, and it's fun to be on this side of the podium. So I want to, especially for some of the new members, I want to give a little bit of background. As president of the Redevelopment Commission focuses on economic development. And one of the big projects that hopefully most of you have heard about, and we talked about extensively over the years, has been the sewer plant in Waverly. Now, when we first began that process, we're about to finish. Let me back up. We're about to finish and turn over the plant that the RDC has built over to the sewer district in the next 30 days or so. With that, while this has been a great journey and it has been an excellent example of team effort of the regional sewer district, of the county council, the commissioners, and the RDC working together, when we began this process, we weren't quite sure how we were going to fund some of these things. And we had faith that it would happen, but even then, there was lots of little bumps in the road. During some of those bumps, I came to you, I was also a member of the council at the time, but I came to you as a council and asked for, not a loan, legally it's not a loan, but asked you to appropriate some funds so that we could do things like improve the park, pay for a gas line, and not have to bond out, so that way we could save the taxpayers' dollars. And fortunately, you all agreed to that. Well, today, I am here to let you know that we are now going to take those funds that were given to us and we're going to give them back to the county to the tune of, this is going to be so much fun, $1,713,843.64. So those funds have already been, we've already told Dan to turn those funds back to, return those funds back to the county. And I know, because I know all of you well, that you will use those funds on other worthwhile projects. So thank you very much for believing in the Redevelopment Commission and believing in our county.
Thank
You don't
Dan.
have one of those big
Yeah,
checks
I
to
asked you.
present?
You know,
Here's one of those big
Chip probably
I am a
printed
fiscal
one, of course.
conservative. I wanted to save us money, so I didn't print one out. So,
Well, we appreciate it, and it did work out well.
Yes.
It was a good startup. I call them startup funds, is how I've referred to it, and it helped, and that project has been put to bed, almost.
almost
You're
put to
finish
bed,
line, yes.
you know, and, you know, here's some of the benefits of this. While it is an economic development project, and we are building it because we know that area along the I-69 interchange is going to grow and blossom, it also has been a great opportunity to serve the community. This is probably one of our poorest areas in our county, and now residents have sewer. In areas that the sewer systems have been failing, as Commissioner Hale has mentioned, you know, many of the properties had to be bought out because it's in a flood zone. And we also have an added bonus of one of the first customers is going to be the Mooresville School District in Waverly Elementary.
Yes.
Waverly Elementary is literally sitting on a failing septic system right now. They don't know when it's going to go, but they know it's going to go soon. This is the school that serves the children with disabilities in the Mooresville School District. So honestly, while the dollars were economic development dollars, the dollars were able to help the citizens and some of the hardest hit residents of our community. So it's been a great team effort, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm really excited and very thankful that you trusted the RDC with those dollars, and to show that that trust was not unfounded, we have now returned those dollars to you, and now we're moving on to the next project. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for coming and presenting that.
Fund, will that money be returned to?
The lit economic development fund.
Lit Economic Development? Thank you.
On your agenda this evening, also under other business, we have our Veteran Service Officer and Josh are going to present something to us. I think we passed down something earlier. Do you want to do that together, or did you each need to speak?
Well, good evening. Good to see you. Distributed a handout earlier. I don't know if you'd seen something prior to the meeting tonight.
This one?
The Morgan County veterans need your help. And I'm requesting your support to create a new position, namely the Assistant Veteran Service Officer for Morgan County in our office here. This includes an increase from 35 to 40 hours per week as an exempt employee with a salary of $44,000. So what's the need? Well, the demands, even through the COVID time, have been significant, and the volume of those demands related to the training and the quality of the people serving the office, namely myself and Lindsay. We brought Lindsay aboard as an administrative assistant. Well, since then, she's rapidly got accredited for the IDVA, Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs. Then she got accredited like I did with the American Legion in Washington, D.C. Also took the National Association of Veteran Service Officers training. She's taken all the same training I have, and the only difference now between Lindsay and me is she can do all the same claim processing I can. The only difference is I'm the department head, so I deal with all the department head responsibilities in addition to veteran service officer duties, okay? So since June, you probably heard this figure before, but we've seen an increase, even though there's been a mild decrease in veteran numbers, we've seen an increase of close to $3 million in the last couple of years. We're bringing in over $25 million into Morton County. This is increasing the quality of life of these veterans. They're surviving widows. Needless to say, this is giving them the opportunity to pay taxes, purchase homes, pay bills, put back into the community. So with that being said, how many of those do we have in our database right now of that 53 or 5,900? A little over 1,000. And 260 of those are deceased veterans, okay? But I also want to make mention that we have several hundred claims that are still pending, and if each one of those claims were an inch thick, that stack would be this high. Those are pending claims. So with that being said, I put down a few statistics. The lion's share of our work are service-connected disability claims. And those often take a lot of time. We have to identify the conditions, the primary and secondary conditions. We got to obtain medical records. A lot of these folks are older. They don't even know how to use a computer. So we do a lot of things for them that way.
Just read it and pass it down.
We have to research medical journals and scientific reports. We've got to examine their treatment records, both STRs or service treatment records, as well as their civilian records, medical records. Then we assist them in developing their own personal statement, and then we package the claim. So some of these take months. Some of these can take up to 12 months. So basically, with that being said, we also have the crisis requests that come in, the interruptions that come along with that. One of the things that I wrote down in our report was that, see if I can find it here. At the end of 2020, cumulatively speaking, we had 3,800 phone calls, emails alone, not to mention incoming and outgoing mail. So what I'm basically doing in summary here, it'd be great to keep Lindsay because she's now she's trained to be a veteran service officer, and she's looking at another county who has an opening right now to go there. And I'd like to keep her here. We could lose her, okay? So with that being said, this bottom line is I'd like to request that you seriously consider. I understand this is a new position and some of the protocol that goes behind that. For the sake of the veterans of this county and for the good of the county, I think it would be a very, very prudent and a wise move to do so. So I'll stop there. Maybe you have some thoughts, some questions.
She currently works 35 hours a week.
She's working 35 hours a week right now, yes.
At what salary?
About 33, approximately. And she understands, too, that may require more than 40 hours a week.
Say that again.
She understands that taking on as assistant VSO, that could be more than 40 hours a week, even though it is 40 in the request. So that could do some weekend stuff, maybe some evening stuff.
So are you saying you would need overtime on top of this request?
No, we're not asking for overtime. She'd be exempt status.
Well, we'd have to pay that. Yeah, you can't just say.
Am I off key? Okay.
So Rick is suggesting that she would become an exempt employee as the assistant VSO, and so she would be salary at that point and no longer need overtime. And Rick did a great job of summarizing the request. One thing I did want to point out, the commissioners supported that request officially today. There should be a letter in your packet.
There was a letter. I've passed that down at each of us to read.
To put some of the numbers into context, so the total change in compensation that Rick has presented would be $9,420 in terms of salary. About 4,900 of that is from changing from the 35 hours to 40 hours.
Right.
About 4,500 of that would be essentially the increase in pay for the position having a higher level of responsibility. And there would be about $17.75 in fringe benefits related to that. So the total budget effect to you all, if you were to approve this, would be just over $11,000.
She already has health insurance in through the county? Or?
No.
I don't know if she has the insurance
be
program or
entitled
not,
to it,
but
Be entitled to it, yes.
she could be on it, but this wouldn't be an enrollable event by changing her job description if she's not on it today.
She's entitled to it now, where she's at.
I think this needs to go through the change in job description process, and, I mean, I'm on the board for
That's what I'm
job
thinking.
description review. I mean, it needs to go through that process, and WIS's recommendations, and all those things that other offices have had to follow. Really, we've only had one so far, but it's probably the beginning, but.
Well, what Dan's referring to is, we do have a committee now that has been formed through the Human Resources, that if there are positions that are in need of changing of hours and additional hours and description of duties, that's a process that would go through Doree with and through the committee.
And absolutely, we know that, similar to EMS, we would, essentially, the commissioner said, we know we're trying to bend the rules, we're going to ask for permission anyways, and then follow up with the process. Not a great precedent, understand that, especially for a brand-new committee.
No.
But in this case, the commissioner said they saw the value and they wanted to make the request.
We appreciate the commissioner's input, but I like to follow the rules. So,
I want you guys to remember, this is not the first time this has been asked for. Through 2 budgets that we've asked for, to not really but to get you help and to get you some more people because
5 hours to a 40-hour work week and give her additional pay raise, correct? Okay.
And please keep in mind, we still want to maintain administrative assistant position, okay? Because of what Lindsay's been able to accomplish, we've been able to process more claims because she's come aboard. Where previously, the administrative assistant that I had wasn't up to speed like Lindsay is, okay? So we have a real gem, a very capable individual. Her ability to do research is outstanding. It's impeccable. And I hate to lose her. She has some qualities that even supersede myself. And I even told her when she came aboard, I said, I want to hire somebody that's smarter than I am.
So
you're
then in
saying,
essence, if that's going to be the situation, we don't need it to be framed as just an $11,000 increase. We need it to be this is a full job with additional benefits for another person then. So this is not just an $11,000 possible increase. This is another full-time position.
That's what I'm trying to confirm. You still want to keep your administrative assistant in addition to this request. So pretty much this request is an additional full-time person in your agency.
Right, and the way I see it unfolding with, of course, your approval, that administrative assistant to come in probably wouldn't happen until next budget year anyway.
further discussion? Anyone else have questions?
It seems reasonable to try and keep someone who's demonstrated, the skill set and she's gone out on her own to get these certifications, but I'm having trouble just also keeping the administrative assistant. To me, that would maybe be, I understand there's possibly the need out there, but just from the taxpayer side, it seems like too much. Seems like there's a compromise somewhere maybe to be had.
Well, and I know there's job offers out there, and you could potentially lose someone, but we can't be, I don't want to say threatened, but we can't use that when we've got a lot of other employees that didn't receive raises this year and they could all be in the same position as well, that we could lose them if they didn't get a raise, so to speak. So it's just a hard timing, I think, in my eyes.
And usually when we create new positions, we do it through the budget time process, for the following year. I'm kind of like Kim, I don't like I don't know if she would be hired elsewhere. That's all speculation. I don't know what that timeline is, but I just don't like our feet are put to the fire on this one.
I think that if we've done some really great strides in getting new job descriptions, where just a few years ago, our county didn't have job descriptions for any job. We have an HR director. So we're really trying to improve our processes here. And I personally feel like it needs to go through the process. If we've come this far and we're trying to set the process of how to do things correctly, and we want to change this job, then it needs to go through the HR committee first for a recommendation to the commissioners and then to the council.
Was that the way that it was presented to the commissioners today when they signed the paper saying that they recommended that we add? May I see the letter?
Yep. I listened to the commissioners' meeting this morning, and it was not presented that we would still keep the administrative assistant. I did not hear that, at least. I may have missed it, but I did not hear it. Maybe that was already discussed, though. Sure. Okay.
Right, because here it says was the veterans, is to change the administrative assistant position to an assistant VSO, not asking for an assistant. So that's the way that I read the letter that was presented to us earlier, passed down to us, whatever the correct way of saying that is.
Here's kind of where I'm at on this, that she's improved her skill set for the office, and it is a benefit to the office. I think, like has been said, she needs to get with Doree and have her position reevaluated before our committee and get some discussion going there if she falls into a different classification per the job study, and if she is in a position then to receive a higher salary from that angle. That way we'll be following our procedure that we've done with the study, and in fairness to all the other county employees, like Kim said, some got raises this year, some did not. So I think, like Kelly said, it's important that we just follow protocol.
Mm-hmm. And I think the protocol's new, and so some of us are a little new to how that process works, but I think what you need to do is to start that job description, a true job description of what that would be, and then that needs to go to the committee, the HR committee, and then to WIS, to let them to review,
Right.
to have an idea of what that wage should be. And then it could back around to the commissioners, and if they feel that it's warranted, then come to us. I think it kind of, some things go to the commissioners before they come to us that needs to go there's a little different route.
This is all new.
Yeah.
This is brand spanking new. And I think we need to that's the decision that was made, that it would go to the committee. Any changes in added jobs or new job descriptions or whatever starts with the office creating the job description and going to the committee then consulting with WIS to determine, as Kim said, I won't repeat what she said, but that's the process. That's the process now.
Yeah.
That's not what the process used to be, but that's the process now.
So, from discussion, it certainly seems like this is going to be a resounding no for this evening. But Rick has put the job description together. That's something that he got to me Friday. So what I'm hearing is if we go through that process, meet with the subcommittee in this next month, you all would be open for us coming back next month to hear this if it's gone through the process.
To hear it, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're right, it doesn't mean you're gonna say yes, but,
Right.
okay.
I mean,
I'm not comfortable with keeping both, though, the administrative and this position.
Yeah, like, as I said, Rick and I talked about that. I told him, don't expect that he can make that request for it at the next budget cycle, and it
Right.
still could be no again. But like, we would have been remiss not to give this our best effort, which is why we're here this evening.
Sure.
appreciate it.
We don't
We
need a
don't need to do,
motion
no,
on
because
anything.
through the proper channel.
I just want to say thank you for listening. Got to start somewhere, right?
Hey, we appreciate what you're doing. We hear good things. I
Appreciate
keep
all
hearing
you
good
do.
things.
This is a brand-new process.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Was there any other business to come before the council this evening? Comments from the crowd? Sheriff, everything going well in your jail?
I don't know if anyone's here from the County Highway Department, but I do want to tip my hat off to them for their handling of the recent downfall of snow that we had and the frigid conditions. Bless their hearts. I don't know what happened at the prosecutor's office over there, but I saw one day that they were scooping a bunch of snow from that parking lot and hauling it away in dump trucks. And,
Oh, my.
you know, God love them. They're a wonderful crew, and my hat's off to them.
There's paperwork coming down, so
Yeah.
everyone
We
stay,
have
but
signatures.
make sure you
Mr.
get your
Keller,
things
he's gotta
signed.
collect the documents.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second?
Second.
Aye.
On that.
I don't know if Kim seconded.
I know.
Was asking for a second.
Go home, and get her jammies on.
Right.
You can't leave tonight.
Morning. I gotta go home and stamp 500 envelopes.